Holy gayness, it's Monday. Shh, there's a ghost up in here. Doom, 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 doom. Glabs. Howdy, Glab Squad. This week we are telling ghost story. Alright, well, my story, this happened when I was little, and we used to have a house in this one part of the ranch. There was a back door that came in from the outside, and it led into the kitchen area. So a lot of the times, me and my sister and my little brother, we would sleep up in the front of the house, in the living room. Now, the living room was set off to the side of the kitchen. I remember one night, I heard that door in the back of the kitchen open. Like, my arms are getting goosebumps right now. And I heard the door open, and that's what actually woke me up. And from the hallway, I saw this woman walk into the kitchen. And she had this turban type thing wrapped around her head. She walked up to the kitchen window and just looked out the window. And I remember looking at her, and I was telling my sister, elbowing her and saying, "Nicole, wake up. Nicole, wake up." And she finally woke up, and she was like, What? And I said, "Look in the kitchen." And I said, "Do you see that lady?" And she was like, "Yes." And then the lady looked, she turned her head and looked at us from the kitchen. And then she looked back into the window. And I turned to my sister and I was like, "Oh my gosh, let's just go to sleep. Let's just close our eyes and go to sleep." Because we were just scared. We didn't know what to do. We didn't want to move. We didn't want to say anything. So we ended up just going to bed. And in the morning we woke up and we were like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened." And we didn't say anything to anybody. A few years later, we were all sitting down and my mom's bedroom was on the opposite side of the house. All of a sudden my little brother says, "Mom, why is that lady in your bathroom?" And we quickly looked into the bathroom and there was nobody there. And my little brother were like, Randy, what did you see? What did you see? And he was like, "I don't know, it was just this lady, and she was this tall lady, and she had this thing wrapped around her head." And then my mom was like, "Well, did the lady, was it blue turban type thing?" And my little brother was like, yes, that's what she looked like." So then my mom told us the story of how one night she was asleep and she felt the blankets, the blankets are on you and you can feel them when they're being pulled off you. So she suddenly woke up and she could feel the blankets being pulled all the way down to her feet. So she sat up in bed, and when she sat up in bed, there was this lady at the foot of her bed standing there, this tall lady with this blue type turban wrapped around her head, just talking and yelling, and this weird, look, goosebumps, talking and yelling in this really weird language that my mom didn't understand. Well, we later learned that, from Austin to Bastrop was where we were in between. That road through that area was traveled by gypsies back in the day. Gypsies would, travel back and forth through there. And it was also customary that when gypsies, when they're traveling, their own would die, they would just kind of bury them wherever they were at and have their ritual. So we later learned that was a possible explanation. All right, Glab Squad, I will see you again next Monday. I hope you all have a glabulous week, and be sure to stay tuned to the rest of the ghost stories this week. Whoa! Glabs.